I love you. P.O.P. Hold it down.
hold it down. I said P-O-P. No, 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 no. Hold it down. A-P-O. Y'all hear me? You'll never find, boom, 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 a hairline like mine. Okay, Vaughn says it's good because I got like 40 more songs to go through. Keneal, you out on Facebook and you let us start off and you didn't even tell us, say that we don't hear no sound. My goodness, how you know it is what it is. To God be the glory. God is good. Brothers and saints and brothers, sisters all over the building, all over the world, wherever you're tuning in from, thank you for being here tonight. We thank you for we thank God for your day. We thank God for your day. Just want to start there. We thank God for your day. I thank God for your life. I thank God that your frustrations didn't take you out. I thank God that your enemies didn't take you out. I thank God that the frustrations and the situations that may even be in your family didn't take you out. I thank God that sickness didn't do you under. And even if you have a diagnosis, I'm giving God praise that you are still living and that you're able to triumph above your sickness. Though you may not like your test, though you may not like your situation, it is only for a season that, yes, in one hand has depleted you, but a season that couldn't kill you. So it will do what? Make you stronger. For we can do what? All things through Christ that strengthens us. And so we're glad to be here tonight. We are exploring in this 4-part series the first topic of tonight. And y'all see the thumbnail, dealing with Mr. Tory Lanez. All right. Well, shout out to Mr. Hype Man 93. You know, if you want to be so kind as to do that, that would be greatly appreciated. Add me up on Discord. All right. Well, you know, I'll definitely connect with you once the show's done. I do no business during the show, but thank you for being here, Hype Man 93, or is it man? Hype Man 93. And we hopefully we can get some business in. Anyways, we want to thank God for everybody being here tonight. And I want to give you guys all the kudos and the honor. We hit 47,000. We hit 4,700 subscribers, and that is a blessing. I hope this channel can continue to be a blessing for you. The collaborations and partnerships that we are doing in the background, behind the scenes. Thank you to Shannon Co. Enterprises for being the sponsor, as always, for our show. Omega Event Rentals being the sponsor of our show. Salute to 12th Street, Sister Victoria. Blessings to you. Thank you for being here tonight. And we give God praise for all of you that are here in the building. And yeah, in this 4-part series, we're going to be, as I was saying while I was muted and didn't bother to check because I was rushing, this 4-part series is close to me, and it's in, for those who know me in different fashions, and I'm talking about personally, those who are here in Toronto, Canada, you know me. This is not putting out anybody's business, right? It's not. This is just happens to be at the time and space where what Cat Williams said a long time ago is ringing true. Okay. Now, with that said, the issue with what Cat Williams said is that if I was a non-believer, if I did not believe in God, okay, I would most doubtedly believe that Cat Williams is a prophet. I would have to, because from the minute he did this, okay, and I'm sorry if you see my big fingerprint in the camera, I'll try to make this succinct tonight.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
From the minute he said that, okay, this brother's word has been hitting true. Has been hitting true. And now, does this mean he's a prophet? No. He's in a space and time and place, and he's been in spaces and times and place where, like he said, he's able to collect information. What other people don't want, because they're going to be willing to release it, he is the collector of said information. But he did say this, and he said, and for those who got little kids, if you got a little kid, I don't think you should be watching right about here, because y'all know I try to be straight to the point. I have decorum and chivalry and all that great stuff. But when you got to say what you got to say, you got to say what you got to say. Okay? You figure to feel me. He said all big deviants are going to get their comeuppance. Now, he said that in 2024. We're midway through. We're just a little, we're almost 3/4 way through 2025 now. And whether it's in the celebrity circle or your nearby social society, it is ringing true. And so tonight, in this first episode, I don't have clips for you tonight. I don't have videos, because I want you to think. Okay, fathers, I want you to think. Mothers, I want you to think. Sisters, brothers, I want you to think. Nieces and nephews, I want you to think. I want you to put your thinking cap on. That's what we're here to explore for not too long, maybe about an hour. We've already 15 minutes in. We're 15 minutes late, so that's 30 minutes gone, right? So we're not going to be here for too long. But we want to explore this. And if you can, share the stream with somebody. Bring them into the building. Will be nice. Okay? We are exploring in this first series Tory Lanez. He is a native of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, my home city, home of the 2019 NBA champion, the Toronto Raptors. Yes, yes, yes. And in this, he had a situation that popped off coming, well, not just necessarily out of the pandemic, but the nucleus, the center of all this started in the pandemic. And so for that, shout out to, oh my goodness, shout out to StreamYard. Oh, Vaughn said the who? Oh my gosh. Oh my good golly gosh. Give me a break, sir. Give me a break. The man said the who? Oh my goodness. Yes, he said the big D deviants. Oh my gosh. Well, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Try to clean it up and bring it full circle. But we're gonna get to that, Vaughn. This brother had a situation where he was going to get together, and not even just the get together. Okay, I want to bring this back a little bit before I get into my notes here. So for those who didn't know, Tory Lanez and one Meg Thee Stallion were in some type of relationship, friends with benefits, whatever you want to call it. However, unbeknownst to the majority of the major public at large, Tory Lanez was actually in a situation where he was talking to one Miss Kelsey Nicole Harris. And so in them talking and back together, I don't know if Meg was just like, I'm going to take a liking to this brother and I'm going to take him from you. But I'm not going to take him from you in the sense to say that he's my boyfriend. I'm just going to sleep with him. Just going to have coitus. It's just coitus. Nothing else serious. It's just coitus. And so we are now. We have this situation that arises that, one night they're all going to a party at Kylie Jenner's house. Now, this is going to be important. All right. Now, the reason why we want to bring this out is because the Bible, and y'all know me, the Bible is the foundation for how I've reconstructed my life to have peace and to have the favor of God in my life, not to just say I'm better than anybody. And I'm not perfect, but I do like peace and I do like favor. And if I can get it the right way, then I definitely want to take part of the right way. And so with that, the Bible says that a fool and his money is soon departed. Okay. Maybe that's not going to resonate with some of you because you're not a fool, and other than your bills, nobody's taking your money from you. Okay. But there's a story, and we're going to keep leaning on this until we drive it home, because I can give you so many variations of these in modern day stories. Samson. We all know Samson. We all know Delilah. Delilah did what? What's your strength? Where's your strength? What's your strength? Where's your strength? And she got her own plan. But because this guy's so caught up in himself, thinking that he's God's gift to humanity, and not realizing that everything about him that is great or good comes from God, instead of him coveting and coveting his vow and staying, meticulously keeping himself guarded, he does what? He decides, yeah, I like her. I'm going to take her. And this her spends time getting into his mind, his body, and his soul. And she ultimately cuts his hair. Now, was his strength in his hair? For those of us that are scholars and studiers of the Bible, we would understand that this is a no. His hair was not his strength, and the strength of his body was not in his hair. But it was a vow. Okay. And this vow, his hair was symbolic. Whether it was by length, we don't know exactly how long it was, but it was symbolic of his vow. And the mere fact that he let this non-virtuous woman into his inner sanctum of his mind, his heart, his soul, his body, well, she cut his strength. She didn't cut his strength, but she cut his vow. She broke his vow. Now, I want to point this out to you, and I want you to think, who broke the vow first? The person that cut it, or the person that went to the person who could be the cutter? Let's clean that question up a little bit. All right, let's make it more clear. Who was responsible for breaking Samson's vow? Was it Samson, or was it Delilah? Because if we say within the neighborhoods that you can't turn no Jezebel into no housewife, then wouldn't the person who tries to bring said Jezebel into the house, wouldn't they be the person that has to bear the brunt of anything that happens? Some people would say yes, some people would say no, and that's up for debate. I say guard your home. And in guarding your home, you must respect your home. And not everybody can come into your home. Some people don't even need your address, but that's a whole different story. So let's reel it back. Now we're looking at Samson, right? We're looking at Tori. How does Samson relate to Tori? Well, Tori had built himself up. He was not signed to any company. He was not under any contractual negotiation by which he had to pump out a certain amount of songs and records to be able to amass a certain amount of wealth. Yet still, this brother took a chance on himself, rolled the dice, and through the social support system that he had, mother, father, friends, etc., he was able to do something for himself that others who were way up there didn't believe he could do. Now you got to understand, where does the Samson come in? We gonna get there. Stay with me, and I'm going to bless you. Okay, so he amasses wealth, Tori, that is. He amasses this wealth. He's working on himself. He's doing his things. He's mastering his music. He's gaining traction with every step he takes, with every song he releases. He's gaining traction. Now, this is going to be important because companies were trying to sign him. stick a pin there. Anytime you hear me hit that sound, that means that specific point is important. So let's fast forward now. He's getting out there, he's out and about, and he's doing his thing. Mr. Tory Lanez, in July 12th of 2020, Meghan and Tory left a party at Kylie Jenner's house, at Kylie Jenner's home, along with Meg's friend and Tory's bodyguard. That is Kelsey Harris and whatever the bodyguard's name is. I don't care about him, but it is what it is. An argument erupted in the car, and Tory allegedly shot Meghan in her feet through the back window as she tried to exit the vehicle. Meghan suffered foot injuries and requiring surgery. Legal outcome. Tory was convicted in December 2022 of 3 felony charges and sentenced to 10 years in prison on August 8, 2023. Meghan's stand. Meghan testified during the trial and has consistently affirmed Tory shot her. In May 2025, she defended the verdict publicly, calling him a demon and rejecting attempts to reframe the story. So here's a problem with this, right? And this is the first point I want to bring out. Brothers, we must be aware, because everything we do that is specifically geared towards our self-gratification through the avenue of coitus, doesn't matter how high you are, doesn't matter how low you are, every aspect of self-gratification that is primarily predicated on the aspect of coitus can and will have repercussions. Nobody is devoid of that. Conrad, would sooner you think me a jerk than think that I'm easy. Being serious. Now that I'm grown, based on what I've seen from grade school to now, I would rather be known for a jerk than be the ire of every woman's affection. Because somewhere down the line for men, we're going to have to acknowledge that at some point coitus is not working for us as we thought it would. I don't care if you're polygamous, polyamorous, whatever. It doesn't matter what degree you stretch this out on. If as a man, you are focused on the self-gratification of coitus through monogamy, and the coitus is your action, your focus, but the monogamy is the stepping stool to get to the coitus, is going to come back to hit you. Polygamy is going to come back to hit you. Polyamory is going to come back to hit you. Succubus, incubus, it's going to come back to hit you. Use a straight up hoe, it's going to come back to hit you. Prostitute, going to come back to hit you. OnlyFans worker, going to come back to hit you. I don't care how much money you make. You could sit here and type in the comments and do whatever you want and say whatever you want after this video when it gets reposted and be like, oh, this man doesn't know what he's talking about, because I guarantee he would sell his soul for a little bit of change to change his life situation. Been there. Didn't have to do it. And I still didn't do it. And I know my latter will be greater than my former. Because it's not tied to something that ultimately has no real tangible weight. Like this is, and we're going to build on this because we have 3 more other avenues of this to explore before we finish tonight. Please, if you're enjoying what you're hearing so far, get the likes up, share it, make a comment. If you got a question, put it in the comments. We'll post it and we will read it back and go forth from there. And so at this juncture, the first thing we need to acknowledge is that sex doesn't benefit men. And I'm not talking about a man of God. I'm not talking about the wise old sage of the block. No, I'm just talking about men at our basic biology. It does not benefit us the way we think it does. And ultimately, this is why there's so much bickering or back and forth within the YouTube community, especially those that focus on speaking about a man's proclivity. Now, I've got no affiliation with them, and I probably will never, ever have them on my platform, and they'll never have me on any platform that they have, if they have any. So I'm free to take my shots as I feel like it. Fresh and Fit. How did their polyamory and their polygamy and all of what they do and what they toted, how did that work out for them? It's okay, I'll wait. Somebody please tell me. How does it work for you?
I'm calling you out. I'm so sick of these people. You know, oh.
How's it? You know, like, what do you really think about it? Now, are there people that are in these situations, they're not facing any backlash? Yes. Still doesn't work. Because the thing is you got to understand that you've got to be completely intentional. And I would argue that the vast majority of men are not intentional about the steps to enjoy wholeheartedly what they think they want. This is no different than the brother that goes to church, but yet still he's sleeping with the sisters. Is his game stronger or are their standards weaker? What came first, the chicken or the egg? At the end of the day, we must understand that as men, we have to walk with all diligence. And that does not mean we get to be everywhere in life. You may find this unfortunate. You may say, well, that's a boring life. I just want to live and let live. How is that really working out for us? You know what? Let's move on. Let's see how this worked out for Brother Tory. So remember what we said. He wasn't dating Megan first. He was dating Kelsey Nicole Harris first. Who is Kelsey Nicole Harris? Friend or foe? Kelsey, Megan's friend and assistant, was in the car at the time during the trial. It was in the car at the time. During the trial, Kelsey testified about the argument and the shooting, initially claiming she texted Tory shot Meg 911. So let's look at this. Because right now, no matter what y'all have to say to me, I got 2 strikes on Tory. Okay? I got 2 strikes on him. The person you sought after who, yes, even if she presented it to you, even if she said, here it is on a silver platter, the person you took said coitus from said that you sought to harm her through the mediums of guns. Okay. The person you were dating picked up their mobile device and said 911, Tory did this. Well, contradictions and Fifth Amendment. In court, she frequently claimed amnesia and refused to identify Tory as the shooter, even invoking her Fifth Amendment rights. Bible says that double-minded man, as in, let's change man from gender to man as in species, humankind. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You don't get no more double-minded than that. What was going through your mind, Miss Harris, to the point of degree where you were in an argument with your friend about sleeping with your man, or who you thought your man was? You picked up the phone and texted, Tori harmed Megan. The bodyguards claim recently Tori's legal team cited a statement from Kelsey's bodyguard suggesting she, not Tori, pulled the trigger. Megan's team has denounced this as smear tactics aimed at undermining the jury's verdict. Megan's team, please go back to school. Because if y'all understood, especially for the region that you were in where Tori got his charges, undermining the jury's verdict is, at that point, it's not the jury's verdict. This is the judge's verdict, number one. Number two, y'all need to shut up. Because the more you say that the man is guilty, and anyhow, for every time you all talk, the more evidence comes out that he may just not be guilty. Is the more you're going to put yourself in a situation where the case is not about who was in use of the firearm as it relates to who perjured themselves. So, from one bad liar to other bad liars, please just shut up. Message. Shut up. Why did I bring that up? I want to stop here. Let's stop here. Okay, let's explore this. Okay. Now, for those of again, this is think, not theorize, not conspire, none of that. Nah. X's and X's, O's and O's. We on the battlefield. We're on the gridiron. We're in war right now. I need you to think. I don't need you to feel. I need you to think. Both men and women, I need you to think. What did the courts charge him with? What is the primary charge and out of the charges in which he got 10 years for? Because it's not attempted deletion. It's not first degree. It's not second degree. It's not third. It's not involuntarily. It's not negligence. It's not none of that. Ultimately, Tori is guilty of discharging a firearm with willful negligence, which, according to the region state that he's in and the circuit Democratic court of that area, or is it Republican? I can't remember. Y'all have to correct me on that. That's American. The gun charges, plus him being black, plus him being a notable black celebrity that has had prior issues, okay, push them to substantiate what holds a greater charge. I know I'm about to hurt some people's feelings with this, but take this one to the chin. This case was not about Tori and Megan and Tori hurting Megan. Her hurt does not hold up in court as a valid factor of why this man got sentenced to jail for 10 years. Part of the equation, but it's not the equation. Conrad, what are you trying to say, man? Her hurt and her shame is it's tertiary. It's third on the list. What got him locked up and charges trumped up was the fact that even when it comes down to his own witness said, I saw him discharge the firearm. Ain't nobody saying nobody, but he didn't say nobody's shot. Nobody. We moved the case from who discharged the firearm at who to what did they discharge the firearm at all. So now we got witnesses and we got two Jezebels lying on a man who is just trying to get some coitus. Like, don't we get tired of being in this situation? People, help me out, man. Do we not get tired of being in a situation where I'm specifically talking to men, where because of our proclivities, we put ourselves in a situation where ultimately we are suffering or will suffer great harm. Help me out here. I'm trying not to get too preachy with y'all tonight. I really am trying to get to not to get too preachy and scriptural on y'all. But if I make my bed in hell, God is there also. If I create calamity for myself, God is there to deliver me out of it, but I'm still going to have to face him. So all y'all people that like to sit out there across the world and be like, God knows my heart. That's not a good thing. That's a scary thing. All y'all people that accept me the way I am, Jesus doesn't accept you the way you are. Why you want another person to accept you the way you are? Stop your foolishness. Oh, you can take that and run with your slave. Okay, let's remove the gospel. Let's remove Jesus from this. Nobody accepts you the way you are. If that was the case, a lot more people would flunked in college, would be hired in some prominent jobs. To everything and to everybody we want to be around in, there's got to be some change. Even Dame Dash said it, and it has recently was quoted that had Jay-Z not left Memphis Bleak, I think actually it was Memphis Bleak who said it. If Jay-Z didn't leave those guys, leave them in the partying, leave them in the way they were out in the community, in their social circles and whatnot, and how they were going about chilling and doing what they were doing, there's no way Jay-Z would have been able to do the deals that he did. Whether we can theorize that he's part of a secret society or not, blood sacrifices, selling his soul, whatever it is, listen to the words. Jay had to separate us. He had to go his way because he would have never been able to do the deals he did had he not separated. I just find that kind of noteworthy. So I got two people, and hey, this is here's a bomb out of this whole thing. Y'all know Kylie had plans to sleep with Tory too. My question is in this, right? And we know, and we all say it, energies attract energies, right? But who is Kelsey Nicole Harris and how did she find Tory Lane, or how did he find her? Where were they when they found each other? These are things that I want to explore. This is how my mind works, people. How did they find each other? Who put her onto him or who put him onto her? Now, I don't have that information. That's not for tonight. We only got so much time, right? Whew. The plot's thick. The plot is thick. But the problem with this whole thing is we're still dealing with the fact that no matter which way we spin the question, no matter which way we articulate the facts, it still comes down to a single nuclei. Where if Tory can constrain and quarantine himself against himself, for himself, he would have been better off today. Now, some people will say, well, ain't got no time for that. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. I beg to differ. Sometimes we got to look at that and sometimes we got to hear it. You men who, let's say we don't share the same moral compass. Pardon me. Let's say we don't share the same moral compass. Because this is what it comes down to for me. I'm not going to put myself in a situation where my public or my private reputation can be ruined. You can call it into question because I'm not perfect, but ruined is a whole different capacity. You are not going to put me in a position where you are going to be responsible for ruining my reputation. But here's what, I'm not going to allow myself to put myself in a situation where you or me can ruin my reputation. Work too hard to get it back on its right tracks. And I did a pretty good job so far. It doesn't mean I'm better than you. And it doesn't mean you're better than me. But what it does mean is I'm better than me. That's what matters. You see, in this day and time, they're trying to, it's like, okay, we're stuck with these arguments of man is better than woman, woman is better than man, man is better than man, woman is better than woman. Are you better than yourself? Are you better than who you used to be? Are you better today than who you were yesterday? And can people benefit from your betterment? Jeez. Let's go back over that. Are you, viewer, Mr., Mrs., children, brother, sister, are you better than you? Are you better today than who you were yesterday? And can people benefit from your betterment? If I was at church, we'd say, I wish I had a church, but we on YouTube, so I wish I had a mod. I wish I had a mod to put that question in. Can people benefit from your betterment? I would argue that a lot of people were benefiting from Tory's betterment. He took a gamble on himself. Come on, let's not acknowledge and let's not give the man his flowers. Man did a really solid job pulling himself up and sidetracked it for some cheap coitus that everybody else has played with. And like I said, even Miss Jenner, which I don't know, maybe it's just because I've sat in Canada for so long and I've seen these things going around, but y'all who's in America, y'all know how y'all know how y'all society is. Y'all are you're either one step away from the grave, one step away from walking in your own lane, or one step away from a blood sacrifice, whether you giving it or you are being the sacrifice. And y'all being so close to that, especially if you actually got some talent and you have the right circumstantial conditions to be used and manipulated. You're telling me you didn't go into this with all knowledge of who's who? Jenners are known for turning out their own kids, and you just walk up in there nearly like, I'm me? Bro, come on, man. Like, this is the thing that I don't get. And this is how you know it's more about how we men dictate our own actions versus what some woman or somebody or another man can come and pull you into. Like, we really got to mentally get a hold on this because it's getting sickening now. Men, and if somebody wants to ask me the question, well, Conrad, what are you saying? You want everybody to sit on a hill and become monks? If it means you're not in jail, yes. If it means you don't have to go to court, yes. Who would you? The trees going? You telling me that you can't trust trees? Is that what you're telling me? Hold on, y'all. My son's crying. Quick commercial break. Thank you all for waiting. My son randomly woke up. But anyways, man, I lost my train of thought. People bettering from your betterment. Like, am I going to put myself in a situation where my family can't benefit, or from some of y'all, if you get a benefit from this, that you stop getting that benefit? This is ultimately what we're exploring. Now, the Kylie Jenner connection, as I brought it up, the incident began after a gathering at Kylie's residence in Hollywood Hills. The party involved Kanye vibes, beer pong, Kanye vibes, beer pong, flirting, and tensions escalated when Kelsey allegedly learned of an intimate connection between Megan and Tory. Emotional fallout reports, including from Kelsey in No Jumper, indicated jealousy and emotional conflict among the trio. Megan felt betrayed. Kelsey confronted Tory, and Tory allegedly threatened to smash Kylie. What? Yo, I blesses to you. Salute. What is wrong with this idiot? All right, hold on. Let me get situated again. Jesus. What?
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
This man literally was. I told y'all, I got notes. Okay. I got notes. Okay. There's a reason why I wanted to go through notes of this, but it wasn't for all this. Like, I genuinely don't get it. How is it that all this popped off? I just, okay. Again, what would it have really profited this guy to be in the midst of this argument? And then at the height of the tension, go and say that. You know, part of me thinks that Kelsey Nicole Harris would have actually done something to Tory with as mad as she was that night. I think that is an unwritten factor. Completely unwritten. Because I'm just like, yo, why would you bring that up? You see how messed up the situation, and like, I mean, they're all inebriated. They're all been drunk, so they can't help themselves. Out of this whole situation, you know, people have tried to support Tory. Congresswoman has petitioned the Governor Newsom, for clemency or pardon. Not gonna happen. Not without federal help, anyways. Here's something. This is a minor note. Megan Thee Stallion sitting there talking about, oh, you know, why would she lie? You've been lying. You've been lying. You lied about the fact that you're an industry pass around and then admitted it later on because you said, I'm not going to be an industry pass around no more. I'm not going to pass myself around. You lied about being intimate and having coitus with Mr. Daystar. You lied. So you're a liar. You're a bad liar. And some people say, well, you know, like if that was me and Tory was the person I was exposed to having a jump off with, I'd lie too. When said statements got to go back to court, probably not a good time to lie. Just saying. Just saying. I'm just saying. Most importantly, it's literally a fact of the matter that he's going to have to pray. And I'm not laughing. I find this slightly ironic because we would say, pray you don't enter into a situation like this. And for the lane and the vein that we're talking about this tonight, we have to understand that as men, while we might not agree about it, the first line of defense against said situation is us protecting ourselves from ourselves. Now, some people would say, oh, why should I have to protect myself from other people? And, why can't just people? No, we're not hardwired that way as humans. We're really not. We're not hardwired to be self-preventative. It's almost like we're hardwired for self-destruction or to remain in cycles of self-destruction. Because for everything that we've ever heard come out of Hollywood, every situation, every circumstance, we have all at one time or one place or another heard this specifically. And it's always about a situation, even when we're being lied on. Always a situation where we got to defend ourselves based on what somebody said about us. And the thing that troubles me is not even the fact that in this situation, and we're looking at Tory, where, we have to explore, digest. And I guess sometimes this could also be the problem with content creation and content creators, because we can take things in such a direction that we minimalize the impact, because we talk about it ad nauseum, we debate it, we get into the who's at fault. Is she at fault? Is she a traitor? Is she a rat? Is he an idiot? Is he short? And all of the above could be true, but it still comes back down to the fact that we as men got to put ourselves in the best situation to succeed and to be fruitful and prosper. And at times that's going to come with a void of coitus. Doesn't matter where you are, who you are. And as Vaughn Bryant said, who earlier on in the chat, yeah, Cat Williams, I am not elated, but I am so surprised that the words of Cat Williams has rung true. And the mark of 2026 will be a full 2 years since he did that interview and said all Big D deviants are going to be exposed. And it's like when he said that, it just put it in motion. Now, mind you, yes, we can say, well, this situation started before he said that. Yes, 100%. But it doesn't negate the fact that it's still relevant post what he said. And so, like, really and truly, I would love for brothers and sisters to stop losing at the advent of coitus. Now, if your response to this is, well, why shouldn't I just be able to enjoy myself? I would ask you, What is enjoyable about impending danger? I don't know about y'all, but I don't like waiting for something. And I'm not saying that we just sitting here literally waiting, but sometimes we could be so or blissfully ignorant that we don't even see the danger and it's right there. I'm sorry, y'all. It's been a long day. I've been up since 4:30 in the morning. But like a situation like this, like we gotta understand that we as men, we gotta hold ourselves accountable for ourselves. It is the ultimate self-preservation. Because again, and for the women who ask this about being safe, or they mention this within the vein of being safe, they're only going to be safe when we're able to directly and distinctly marginalize the atmosphere completely. I'm sorry for that pause. My mind is racing right now. This is sad, man. Now, this situation has sparked a real cultural dialogue. The case has sparked conversation around gender dynamics and survivor celebrity or survivor credibility in hip hop and beyond. And see, this is the thing that this is why we're exploring. And this is just number one. Again, it's a Monday night. I didn't want to go too deep into it. We'll probably do a reaction. I know many guys have done a reaction, intellectual soapbox, and the brothers, sophisticated jerk, and knowledge and relationships. And three, they've already done their breakdown on that. I know Red Lipstick Vibes has done it. Um, so maybe it'll come up again, maybe it won't. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, we're dealing with a situation where a lot of our questions about how men and women deal with each other within a confined space of society, and how we are affected by the outcomes of these celebrities. The majority, a plethora of our conversations, or I don't say, no, I'm using this in the wrong context. I'm sorry. I'm using the wrong word vernacular. So sorry. A large degree of our debates, conversations, in some of our talking points stem from these situations. And the reason why they stem from these situations is because they bleed over into our general society, causing some type of impact. And now we're stuck wondering, how does woman interact with man and how does man interact with woman, rather than separating ourselves from those individuals and saying, okay, I hear them, I see them, and I need to learn from them, but I have need to do my utmost to make sure I am not comparable to them in my character or my seeable experience character through those around me. Until we get into to focus on that as by way, and I mean, some of this is entertainment. I'm not saying everybody's got to do it one way or the other, but there's aspects of spaces that will talk about this for entertainment. Over here, I want y'all to think. I want y'all. This was a thinking moment. This is a thinking conversation. What have we learned really from Tori's case? What have we gleaned from it? Is this another situation where it's just like, okay, well, all men are not safe, all women are not safe, all men are not safe? I don't think this is a narrative that we should draw from that. I think the narrative that we should draw from it is that we need to be careful who we align ourselves with. And above all, for those that, again, we don't share that same moral compass, and that's completely fine. But you do need to be careful who you sleep with, because a soul tie can literally tie you into death. Because I couldn't be in a situation where now I get taken to prison, and in May of 2025, I'm violently attacked to the degree where I'm impaled 14 times. And so while I'm recovering, I moved to somewhere that's safer, but I've got a team that I don't even know if they have my best interests at heart, trying to push for me to get some help. I don't know. And so I say all that to say this, and again on the thumbnail, there's an unknown assailant in this, allegedly. Allegedly. I believe her name is Roxanne Perez. No. Oh gosh, yo, I've been messing up her name all day. I don't even remember her name. CEO of Rock Nation. Apparently, she has the touch, the reach, the power to be able to make some things happen. And so you see this situation now out of the fact of a quick mouth, ignorant responses mixed with alcohol has stirred up a hornet's nest. And I say all of that is that and here's my conspiracy moment. Here's my conspiracy moment. I solemnly believe that all this was a bait. And it was part of the situation, but it's not the situation. Because there are some circles, some atmospheres, there's arenas in life where we enter into them and we may feel genuinely that
A real bad man.
you may feel like you're a real bad man. But then you get into the situation and it's just like, nah, bro, that ain't you. Systems don't like disruption. Tory and how he was able to bring himself to a certain level of credibility within the industry by way of his performance, sales, and self-navigation unto the sales of said artistry disturbed a certain fabric. Now, you might say there have been other artists that have done it, but yes, I'll ask about the nuances. Did they do it as quick? Did they do it as flashy? Did they do it as loud? If they did it by all those margins, then I don't know what to say. But if they didn't, then my case in point is when you disrupt an atmosphere that is predicated on your submission to their way, salute, to their way of doing things. When you disrupt a stream that is used to flowing a certain way, it has a certain level of force, it has a certain level of just go, go, go. Ultimately, people will do what? Even if you're a heavy boulder, they will do what? Grab their team to get you moved out of the way. I don't know whether Tory came first or Kelsey came first, but I could, looking at the situation looked like a whole good setup to me. Allegedly, or conspiracy, however you want to do it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. When did Kelsey and Tory start talking? Question number one. At what point did Tory find out that Kelsey was Megan's friend and assistant? At what point did Tory not know or dismiss the fact that Megan is signed to Rock Nation? Which means Kelsey works for Rock Nation by way of working for Megan. Which means her bodyguards work for Rock Nation by way of her working for Rock Nation, by way of her working with her friend who works for Rock Nation. And the person who runs Rock Nation just so happens to be able to be a full-time master manipulator, allegedly. I mean, by her own daughter, but it's allegedly. Just saying. Devil can set the trap. You still got to walk in it. And the trap wasn't even nothing expensive or anything. It wasn't a contract worth $100 million and none of that. It was some industry coitus. That's how we're getting trapped nowadays, guys. Everywhere we are. Local church, local barbershop, local grocery store, local gym, local police office, local mayor, local district attorney's office, local school. This is what we're doing. Men, regardless of nationality or creed, because we're all one race as the human race. Okay. We need to do better. The abuse towards women, it needs to cease to exist. And I know there's always going to be somebody with some type of complex or some type of situation where you're defending yourself. But I'm telling you, I would rather some of y'all live and be the wise old kung fu master sage in the woods by yourself than to be in a situation like Tory Lanez. Yeah. Control your D&D. I mean, it's completely necessary. We are not in a time where this is going to slow down. Like Me Too hit, and I don't know if y'all noticed, but Me Too slowed down. And as soon as Me Too started slowing down, what started popping back up out of nowhere? Now, this has caused many dissensions in many different levels, in many different ways, with many different people. But it's not so much about who's reporting it as it is about how did they get the report. That's what we're talking about. And so for this first series, I'm not even going to drag this out because I haven't eaten. I'm hungry. And I thank y'all for rocking out. I did a bad job in getting the notifications out, and I do apologize. But be right back here Friday. We got new donkey of the day, new clown of the day, new simp of the day, new Grifters Anonymous. Well, he's not new, but he's new to the Grifters Anonymous. We got the one hitter quitter, and I got something new for y'all. I think it's necessary. It's necessary. Until we meet again, Finesse Visions, thank you for being here, brother. Intellectual Soapbox, Red Lipstick Vibes, thank y'all for being here. Vaughn Bryant, thank you for being here. 12th Street, Victoria, blessings to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for coming through and showing your boy some love. Keneal, thank you for coming through. Much love to you on the Facebook side. Thank you for holding it down. Thank y'all for being here. Again, I do apologize for being late. We will be early on Friday, and we'll be all these things curated and queued up so y'all don't gotta wait. Wednesday night, our partners are QOC, bro, Coach Chris, myself, the womanhood of QOC. We're going to be talking about 50-50. And a certain part of that show will be airing right here on the DaRealReel podcast. And we will be over on QOC. So you know what I need you to do? I need you to hop on over there. If you don't know where they are, you don't know who they are, those are my peoples. Type in your search browser at QOC Network. Pull them up. Subscribe, like, share. We got Wednesdays, the womanhood talking about 50-50. That's part 2. And then on Thursday night, me and Coach Chris are going to attempt to break it down further. Is it cultural or circumstantial? The need or the argument for 50-50. Is a man less than a man because he decides to go 50-50 or he has to? I have my stance on that. We would love for y'all to come through and continue to look out. We will be pushing much more support for our brothers and our sisters. And for the month of August, if you as a sister are viewing and you want to be a part of the DaRealReel ladies, make sure to hit us up on Instagram at DaRealReel_SCE, and we will make sure to get you in on the panel. We are in the works of planning something, and my goodness, we got color codes. We're one step away from designing a new fresh logo to bring in the ladies as part of the fourth quarter for DaRealReel, and we're excited for everything that's happening. Above all, Saturday, right now, it's scheduled to be at 7 p.m., but it is my son's birthday, so just in case we're not back in time, we will be having prayer by all means on Saturday, but be attentive as it might get pushed back. If you have a request, feel free to go in that chat and just post that request ahead of time, or you can email us at DaRealReel.sce@gmail.com. Make sure to give this a like and subscribe, share it with your friends and your family. We look forward to your support. We love you all on our way to 5,300 subs. Let's go out with a bang. Much love. Blessings to you all.
Mama, I love you. P.O.P. Hold it down.